Welcome to the Diamond Niner Fans Podcast. We're here talking Charlotte 49ers baseball with you each week. Welcome to episode 3, covering the week of February 19th, 2018. I'm Nick. I'm here with Kevin.
How's it going? Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Man, we have a ton of stuff to talk about this week, Kevin. But before we move into that, got a couple of housekeeping items that we need to pay attention to for just a minute. First of all, we really meant to mention this last week, but kind of in the rush to get the episode out, we dropped the ball. On the morning of opening day, that very morning, got a text, and it was telling me that longtime season ticket holder and Charlotte alum Ron Jones passed away. He was on a ski trip to Colorado. A lot of you guys know Ron. If you don't know him, you definitely saw him at the Hayes, because it was pretty hard to go there without running into him. We were expecting to see Ron at the Hayes that Friday afternoon. And that just was not to be. We want to pass along our deepest sympathies to Francis and the rest of Ron's family and friends. We are definitely going to miss him in the stands, and Kevin, the Hayes just will be a little different from now on.
Yeah, it sure will. We'll surely miss Ron, and had a lot of great stories and a lot of great memories going to Niner baseball games and traveling to road basketball games and football games, you name it. He was there, and he's an old-time Niner. He went to school in the late 70s, so he was there with Final Four, and he told some great stories about those days and how the drinking age was 18 on campus, and they had a good time. So
yeah, like that would have mattered to Ron. You know what? We actually have a great Ron story as it relates to Niner baseball. You want to tell that one real quick, Kevin?
Yeah, we can go through that. You'll have to help me out a little bit, but yeah, well, I think it was.
I don't know. I don't have any memories of it.
We played at Chapel Hill one year. I can't remember the year, but we went down to Chapel Hill. There was quite a few of us up there. We met up at top of the hill on Franklin Street before that ball game midweek, and had a little something to eat, had a few drinks, and had a good time. We were making our way to Boschheimer Stadium from Franklin Street, and we saw
crowd of us.
Yeah, about 6 to 10 of us strolling through campus.
All decked out in green.
Yes, sir. And so we walk up to the old well, and we see this bride. She's getting her
in the full wedding gown,
getting
the
her
whole
wedding
thing. Hair done, the makeup, the whole thing.
She's getting her wedding photography done, all her wedding pictures, and
all her wedding portraits.
So we were all saying, wouldn't it be cool to go get a picture taken with this bride and on her wedding shoot? So Ron goes up to her, the photographer, and tells us who we are and what we're doing, and she's ecstatic. She gets us up there with her at the old well, and her professional photographer, is set up. He's snapping
paying
photos.
Who knows how much an hour to have this done.
And us clowns are up there getting pictures taken
with pickaxes, and making the pickaxes with our fingers at the old well with a bride, and it was Ron's deal.
Yeah,
I think it started with, wouldn't it be funny if? And the next thing I know, Ron's over there talking to her.
And then we were all up there, and then I do have a photo of that saved, so we'll tweet that out sometime this week. And
yeah, let's get that out there. I know we've got that photo, and that's somewhere. That is, the bride was like, that's definitely going in the wedding album. That's got to be out there somewhere. It's that's kind of a Ron thing. He was always getting into something, and we just happened to be there, and we had no role in that other than we just happened to be there, and Ron talked us into doing that. So it's good to have stories like that.
There's tons of them with Ron, and we'll definitely miss him, and miss seeing him at the Hayes. He tailgated with us quite a few times back in the day before the football stadium was there, and we had a tailgate about every week, and he was a big part of that, and we'll definitely miss him.
Yeah, so it's good. Glad we worked that in. We're definitely, as Kevin said, going to miss Ron, but that's the way it goes sometimes, buddy. We will definitely miss you going forward. On a more uplifting note, something we wanted to work in here is just the response that we've gotten from you folks out there. It's really been humbling. We've really been blown away with some of the feedback. As would not be surprising, most of our listeners, we can kind of track the stats through the YouTube account and see who's out there and where you're listening from. Most of you are from North Carolina. Wow, that's surprising. But we've actually had folks listen in from a variety of places, Kevin.
Yeah, I know a lot of our players are from around the country, but we've had listeners from Texas, from Maryland, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., Iowa, South Carolina, of course, Indiana, Illinois, Florida, Tennessee, Ohio, Arkansas, Virginia, New York, Kansas, Missouri, New Jersey, California, Michigan, and Alabama.
Which I got to tell you, folks, for just two dudes sitting around talking baseball because we like it, we're absolutely floored that this is out there and that you guys are listening. So we'd love to know who you guys are. Heck, if you're in North Carolina, we'd love to know who you are. Drop us a line. Say hello. You can find us a number of places at Diamond9ER Fans, at Diamond Niner Fans on Twitter, Diamond Niner Fans on Facebook, or Diamond9ER Fans at gmail.com. So drop us some feedback. Drop us some feedback. We appreciate you guys a lot, and we would love to hear who you are, what your connection to the program is, and how you found us. So if you get a chance, drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Kevin, we got to move forward and talk a little baseball here, buddy. Not exactly the week we envisioned as we were recording this 1 week ago. Now, was it?
Well, no, yeah, we knew it was going to be a tough week going up against the ACC and the SEC team on the weekend. But yeah, definitely, as Lauren Hibb said, it was frustrating, and we had a rough week. 0-4, but now 3-4, and when we go up against top competition like that, sometimes this happens, you know.
Why don't we? And it's not there. There were some, you know, that's not a negative comment. That's just it is what it is. And I do think that the tough competition we went against this week is going to pay off in the long run. There's some different aspects to talk about it, but why don't we just kind of briefly step through those games, and we can kind of start off with that Wednesday loss at NC State, dropping that game 9-6.
Yeah, midweek game up in Raleigh. I think NC State's projected regional team. I think they're nationally ranked as well. We went up there, started Joey Cooner. He had a good start, kind of a pitcher's duel for the most of that game. First part of that game was a pitcher's duel. I think it was 0-0 at one point, or 1-0, and none of the bats for either team could get working. But then later on in the game, we had Cooner. He walked 4 guys, but he pitched around those. He
got away with it.
Yeah, we couldn't seem to get scratch runs on the board, but we kind of things fell apart for us. And I think it was the 6th inning. We gave up 5 in the 6th. Had a couple walks, burned us. A couple bad plays in the field burned us. But then right after that, we bounced back. We batted around in our half of the inning, or I guess the top of the next inning. We came in, batted around, dropped I think a 6th spot on the board. Everyone bat that inning, and we had
we dropped 6 on them in the 7th.
Yeah, took the lead going into the 8th inning. We had the lead, just couldn't finish off the deal. We had that 1 inning of offense that we exploded, and their bullpen came in kind of after that. They kind of shut us down after that. But yeah, tough loss. A lot of positives though. I said Joey Cooner had a great outing. Like I said, we had that 1 big inning. We had the bats rolling, but we just couldn't finish the deal.
What I liked about it though is from a potential standpoint, there is, you know, there's scoring runs is always a goal, of course, but sometimes it matters when you score those runs, right? And we had come off an inning where we had given up, you know, what did we give up there?
5. We gave up 5 in the 1.
Well, yeah, we had given up 1 in the 4th, and we gave up 4 in the 6th.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, 4 in the 6th, and it was like, oh man, we're down 5-0. What are we going to do? It's getting late, and then we come right back, right there. I mean, that's what you want. You know, they're coming back out with an attitude like, okay, yeah, we just gave up a 4th spot. Okay, watch this.
Well, I mean, even in the short amount of games we've had this season, we've seen this team keep grinding. They're going to keep grinding no matter what, and they've grinded back in several games so far this season, including that Wednesday night in Raleigh.
Yeah. So it's it's disappointing, right? But it's not the end of the world. And there were 3 more games to play, and then we got to do something awesome. The great thing, by the way, which it was really really awesome all week. We had 4 games all on ESPN3, right?
Right.
Able to watch them all. Now the only downside is we did well. I don't know. Maybe it's not a downside. Maybe it's a positive. We got to trade smug ACC announcers for smug SEC announcers. It's all good. I mean, I'm just kidding. They were fine. They were fine.
They were pretty good. They were all right. They were as neutral as can be expected.
Yeah, they're fine. Mainly, I just look, folks. I'm a fan, and when we're down, then the announcers can't say anything to make me happy, right? It's just the way it is.
I'm right there too. I'm there too with you.
It's the way it is. It's and then when things aren't going the way you want them to, everything the announcer says, oh, you're only saying that because just it is what it is. So we move on. We head down to Athens on Friday. Let's see, that game started at 5
o'clock. Yeah,
5 o'clock. So we were able to watch that, and pretty excited going in. Big road test, SEC opponent, and what happened, Kevin?
Well, we they jumped out on us. They jumped on us pretty early. I think they scored 5 on us in the first couple innings. I mean, Lauren mentioned going into this series, I mean, how physical they were. And you could tell an SEC team, they're going to be physical with you. And you saw those guys on TV. You saw those big bats in the lineup they had, and then they were definitely physical. They showed they
1 in the first, 4 in the second, and 5 in the third.
So yeah, they flexed their muscles and put us down pretty early. And I felt we were a little bit overmatched, but definitely bounced back. After that, we kind of settled in. 12-2 was the final. We scratched a couple of runs across, and Matt Brooks struggled at the beginning, but he sat in and got his 5 innings in. He kind of saved our bullpen for the weekend. That was a positive. We definitely needed those guys in the doubleheader coming up the next day. So it was tough. It was tough off the bat, but tough to come back.
Matt kind of took one for the team there.
Yeah, and he hadn't had that many starts. He's a sophomore, and he is. I'm sure he'll bear down and learn from that moving forward. But yeah, definitely he kept him out there, and he pitched his 5 innings, and he took the hit for us. But the bullpen was rested going into the next day, going into the doubleheader. So we lost 12-2 on Friday. The rain on Sunday forecasted pushed us to a doubleheader on Saturday.
Well, the thing I want, let me go back to Brooks for just a second here before we move into the Saturday, because that was a long day of baseball. We forget, and this is what I remind myself all the time. And I don't care if we're talking Niner basketball, Niner football, whatever. But these guys, Brooks comes in as a freshman. And we have no idea what to expect from him last year. And we're like, wow, this guy's really this guy's got command of his pitches. This guy's awesome, right? Yeah. So naturally, you do the fan thing. Oh, well, his sophomore year, he's going to be even better, And it's these guys, these are people, right? They're not robots. Good and well, Matt worked in the off season, and I think he's got some stuff to work out right now, but the talent's there, and I think he'll get it worked out.
I mean, we're facing a Friday night SEC starter also, and our lineup. I mean,
how about as a sophomore? Your second sophomore start, just go to an SEC road opponent and take on their Friday starter. Just go do that, right?
And then their lineup. I mean, they have a pretty stacked lineup, and we're kind of shell shocked at the beginning, but
well, let's talk about that Saturday. We did play a doubleheader, so 18 innings of baseball on Saturday, and game one, we dropped that one 6-4. That was another heartbreaker.
Yeah, I think the big story on game two of that series was Josh again. I mean, he had a great start the opening weekend against Iona, and then he followed it up with a even better start to start this season. He was cramping up. I think his left calf was cramping up the whole last 2 or 3 innings. Pitched through that. I think he had like 3 or 4 mound visits. They brought him some Gatorade, stretched him out and everything like that. But he battled through it. Struck out. I think the lefties from Georgia were 0 for 12 against him.
Oh, they had nothing for him.
Yeah, and he made him look silly sometimes, and that was a great effort. I mean, it was fun watching him pitch on Saturday, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And we scratched some runs across in the first. We bounced back off of that Friday 12-2 defeat. We jumped on them pretty early and got the offense rolling. I think we had some good over the weekend. We had some good hitting at the plate from Reese Hampton. We had some good hitting from Tommy Bullock on the top of the order. Harris Yett, Jackson Mims. I mean, those guys, they produced some runs for us early in that game. And we had a 4-2 lead, jumped on them 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, I think they got one back on us.
Yeah.
And then Josh, he pitched over 100 pitches. Did he go 7? He went 7.
7 innings.
7 innings, over 100 pitches.
The last 2, almost one-legged.
Yeah. But can't say enough about his performance. And then
let me ask you a question here. Let me ask you a question about Josh, and maybe my memories of it are faulty. That's always a possibility. But we saw a lot of emotion out of Josh. I thought last weekend too, and this. When he got out of that jam after he was having trouble with the calf, and he got that big strikeout. He was freaking pumped up, and I don't know. I think it feels like maybe we're seeing a little more emotion out of him than we have his previous 3 years.
Yeah, it's definitely fun to watch. I know that against Iona, he was. I saw him. He looked down at the dugout, the Iona dugout a few times, and he had to battle through a lot. We talked about that last week, but then this week, battling through that. I think after that calf injury when they came out, I think Georgia tried to lay down a bunt on him.
They did. They tried to test it out,
but he wasn't fazed by that, and he had a great performance. We got to Georgia's starter, their Saturday starter. He was a freshman. We got to them for 4 runs.
That dude was pretty wicked too.
Yeah,
he was touching. I think he touched 96 on the gun.
Yeah,
several times.
He was up. He was up there. But we got to him. They brought in their bullpen, and their guys pretty much shut the door on us. We left a few guys on base, but they shut the door on us the last few innings, and when we pulled Josh, we went to the pen and we just couldn't close it. 4-3 lead we had was razor thin, and ended up falling 6-4.
Yeah. I'll say this before we move on to the second game too. Come see all the games you can at the Hayes, by the way. But if you get a chance, come see Josh pitch. Come see all our guys, but come see Josh. He's what he's doing right now. It's kind of like, I don't want to make a direct comparison, but it's kind of like we said about Colton last year. It's like, man, what Colton's doing is really special. What Josh is doing right now is pretty doggone special too. You ought to come check it out.
Yeah, it was fun to watch Saturday
for sure. Let's move on to that final game, and that was a strange game.
Yeah, coming off that late when Georgia bounced back on us and took the lead late on us, coming back from that defeat,
I thought we were. I mean, look, guys, if you're listening, don't go by what I say. I thought, oh my God, we're just cooked. We're cooked.
And they jumped on us again. They jumped on us again that game. At the beginning of this game.
And we just battled right back again.
Yeah, and they fought back. We fought back into the game, and we had some good at bats. We actually changed the lineup a little bit for this. I mean, this is the first time we've had a different lineup this season.
Yeah, we had a handful of guys see their first action.
Yeah, we had
this weekend.
So the lineup change we had. I guess we had a doubleheader with a catcher. Harris yet wasn't going to catch both games, so he moved to DH. Gave him a little rest. Brought in Ober from DH to left field, and ended up moving Jackson Mims to first. Bullock went to third, and Pennington was moved into second base. He got his first start. First career start
at second base.
So he got his first career start. So we got a little different look at the lineup. Those guys, like I said, they battled back late. We had the go-ahead run at the plate in the ninth inning, and just couldn't get him across. But
just kept grinding.
That's right, and
absolutely just kept grinding.
It definitely gives you a positive feeling moving forward. We battle with this SEC team to the wire, 2 games in a row on a hot day in Georgia, and we pretty much went toe to toe. Lauren said it was a game of attrition, and he's right. It was. They just had more arms than we had, and couldn't quite get over the hump. But definitely feeling positive moving forward. After that.
Yeah, and it's not like we're gonna play that kind of schedule every week.
Right.
I mean, it's a test, right?
Yeah.
So, and you touched on this a little bit, but let's just spend just a second here. Really, Kevin, the top half of our lineup is really swinging the bat well right now.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. We've got Reese Hampton's leading us in batting right now.
Remember when somebody said he was going to have a big bounce back year?
I think so.
Who said that?
I think it's the guy across the table.
Oh, that's right. There you go.
But yeah, he had a big weekend.
Blind squirrel, right? Yeah.
Harris Jet's been crushing the ball. I mean, he crushed 2 balls. One was dead center, as far as that park would hold it. And then he crushed 1 foul. That was a mile. Didn't get anything out of those 2. But he's swinging the bat well. Tommy Bullock, he's looking great at top of the lineup. Todd Elwood's still up there, 385 batting. So yeah, we've had some positive. I know some of the guys down the lineup struggled a little bit, but Dominic Camarada, he had a big game 2 yesterday or on Saturday. Drew Ober, he went 2 for 3. He's starting to field. It looks like.
Yeah.
So
starting to come around a little bit. I mean, you think about. It's weird, but even sometimes an out kind of moves a guy in the right direction. It seems like. I mean, Ober had a pretty sharp hit ball left field, went for an out, but he made really good contact, put a great swing on the ball, and then after that, he things started looking up for him. It's coming to him.
Yeah, I think he's, like I said, he's been out for a year, and he's getting back in the mix. So he hopefully that game 2 will keep him going, and he'll swing a hot bat the rest of the way. Hunter Jones had some big hits over the weekend. Had some big at bats. I know. Todd Elwood had some big at bats to draw some leadoff walks. I know we got a lot of guys on base. Just couldn't tally hits together to get those guys home. But some new guys got some time this weekend. We had some pinch hitting from Jake Whitcomb, Tate Pennington. I mentioned he got a start, but he had a bench hit appearance on Friday. Then we got Eric Lansinger got his first at bat of the season as a Niner. So, and Sam Minnitt, he also got an at bat in there. I think he saw 1 pitch. Yeah, but
it's good to see these guys. I mean, Whitcomb. Hey, just your first college at bat. We're at UGA. just go in there and get a base hit. Yeah, all right, no big deal. You do that. Pennington did the same thing, right?
Yeah,
He
hit a double.
hit.
Yeah, he had a double.
And yeah, that's right. He went for a double. And Lansinger didn't get a hit, but he actually looked. I thought he looked pretty good up there. And I mean, he's a big dude.
Yeah, that was in the ninth inning, I believe. It was his first at bat of his career, ninth inning.
Yeah.
At down at UGA. Worked to count full, and then he ended up striking out, but worked to count full. And
yeah, it was a good at bat.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what the new guys have to offer moving forward, how they mix in. Pitching wise, I guess we had some new guys jump on. Skopinski, he still hasn't allowed a run. He's had some solid outings for us. So it's good to see some of the new guys see what they have and how they fit in with the mix that we got going. I know that Lauren said that they're still figuring out what they got and who's going to step up and who's going to fight for that playing time. So we'll see.
Well, let's talk about that. This week's over with. We're moving forward. We've got really 5 big games this week. We're at Charleston Southern on Wednesday. Then we're back here at the Hayes for 4 games this weekend. So, you mentioned some of the things here. What do we need to be looking for this week?
Yeah, like I said, we're on the road at Charleston Southern. Charleston Southern's same record as us, 3-4. They lost 2 or 3 to Delaware at opening weekend, but then they played at South Carolina this past weekend. Lost 2 or 3, but took the final game on Sunday. So they beat South Carolina Sunday. So that will be a tough test for the midweek. Be interesting to see who we throw. I'm guessing we'll throw Cooner again, but with 4 games on the weekend, I'm not sure what's going to happen with the rotation. Siena, like I said, 4 games coming up. They're 0-7, but they played the defending national champs the opening weekend, Florida. Mm-hmm. Then came over here to Boiling Springs with Gardner Webb, former Niner Ross Steely's over there, head assistant coach. But they lost 4 there. So they're 0-7 coming in this weekend.
They're picked to win the Iona's league, yeah? Is that right?
I'm not sure.
To win that league?
I'm not sure about that.
Don't listen to me on that. It seems like they maybe were, but
that's what the schedule's got coming forward this week. Be interesting to see with 5 games how we work the rotation.
And then looking beyond that, this is long term here, but we've got those 4 games this weekend, and then we turn around and go to High Point the next Tuesday. So we got a lot of games here in a tight span.
Yeah, definitely. And I think some of the things overall, some of the things that we saw in the first couple weeks that got us in trouble. We had some walks, had a lot of walks, and had some key errors at key points during the game. Last couple of years, we've led the conference in defense pretty much, and
yes, we have.
And it's kind of unlikely play from the Charlotte 49ers having as many errors as we did, but. Hopefully get that cleaned up, clean up a few of the walks, because I think every walk we had against Georgia, I think the guy scored this weekend. So hopefully get those things cleaned up a little bit, and competition level goes down a little bit moving forward, but still want to win these games and have a good showing.
Don't you feel like this? You don't want to lose. You don't want to lose 4 games in a week, right? We can all agree on that. But that gives this coaching staff, with all the experience they have, that gives this coaching staff the opportunity to say, hey, look, guys, this is what we've been telling you about, right? This is the way we want to play. We talk about Niner standards, right? This is the competition we want to play. This is the level we want to play on. Right. And if you want to play with guys like this, you've shown you can do it, right? We went toe to toe with them, but if we're going to beat those guys the next time we get an opportunity like that, we got to button some stuff up.
Right. I agree. And yet this weekend, like watching those games on the SEC network, it felt like felt like kind of like a tournament atmosphere or like a regional kind of atmosphere. And
well, if you play in a regional, you're gonna be someplace just like that.
Yep. And it's what it felt like to me. And this is a good experience especially for the young guys, to play in an environment like that and compete. And we had the lead and won. Had to guide the go-ahead run on that home plate. So we were neck and neck right there with them. It's good to build on moving forward. But,
and hey, if you're out there and you're bummed about losing 4 games this week, so are we. So are they. I think it's a work in progress. The biggest thing is they're going to keep grinding and try to figure out some things going forward. I think there's some positives here to go off
definitely.
of.
I feel positive coming up. I mean, it stung. This weekend stung, but sitting on it for a few hours, it's a lot of positives to take away, and we know these guys are going to bounce back hard.
Perspective, right?
That's right. Yep.
Well, let's just touch real quick here on Conference USA. This was there was a big series this weekend for the league, and it did not exactly go very well. We'll talk about that here in a second. But as a whole, the results for the league were affected by weather like everybody else, but just kind of a lackluster week in Conference USA. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, the big series I think was Rice was playing Stanford.
4 games.
And they got swept in all 4. But I think that was the marquee series that I saw this weekend. They always like you said last week. They always step out of conference big time, and just like we do, and they play just a ridiculous schedule.
And this is the thing. You're talking about a situation there. Wayne Graham, experienced coaching staff. They've got the talent. What does it mean that Rice lost 4 games to Stanford this weekend? Nothing. It means they lost 4 games. Good and well that club is going to be rolling come conference time.
That's right. Yeah,
it's just the way it works.
Yeah, you play tough teams out of conference, and it just sets you up to compete in Conference USA day in and day out.
Yeah, let me see here. The had that right now the league, and it's our out of conference records 47-34. That's respectable. Still too early to really be worried about RPI numbers, but Conference USA is ranked 12th in Warren Nolan's conference RPI. That number's not gonna. That number doesn't even mean anything at this point.
Right.
Probably really in 2 more weeks. Let's look at that number in 2 more weeks.
Probably before conference play starts is the best time.
Yeah, let everybody get 4 series in, and my best guess would be Conference USA is going to be right there, top 6 again.
Right. There's a lot of teams playing good schedules in our league, so it's going to lead to a pretty good RPI.
Yeah, Southern Miss, the other bellwether there. They had a little bit of a rough week, losing a mid game and dropped 1 this weekend. But hey, after the week they had last week, they didn't have anywhere else to go.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, after taking it to Mississippi State, the way they did. So not really worried about them. It'll take a little while longer. The next few weeks we'll have a better idea. I think that's probably something we can really get a better picture of when we're sitting here talking about conference play starting the next week. But we got another 2 weekends to go. Worry about that.
Right. Yeah. I think we have Siena this weekend and ECU for us.
Yeah, Siena and ECU left for us.
So we've got still got some tough schedule before conference play starts.
Yeah, which they were playing. East Carolina was playing Chapel Hill this week, right? They did that. They did that deal. They played didn't they play one
in Greenville,
in Durham,
and 1 at the Bulls Park, and 1 at Chapel Hill, I believe.
Yeah, that's some creative scheduling.
So I think they won Friday night, but I didn't follow. ECU beat Chapel Hill on Friday night, but I didn't follow the rest of the series.
I'll get it for us here. Hang on a second.
But yeah, coming up next week, that's a big series after the Siena series. So on the road for 5 straight,
Yeah,
and then come home for 4, back on the road for 1, and then back home for 3 for the Niners. I'm definitely looking for them to bounce back this weekend, and going into that ECU series coming the following weekend.
Yeah, East Carolina is they're 6-1, so they got 2 out of 3 from North Carolina, including today. I say today, we're talking Sunday night. Today they won 12-0. They took it to Chapel Hill 12-0. It's been weird. We do these on Sunday night. No baseball today for us, so it was weird. Everybody else was playing, and we had no baseball to watch. Well, we watch other people's baseball, but no Niner baseball to watch. So yeah, North Carolina dropped 2 or 3 to East Carolina. So both opponents of ours.
Yep. Both on the Niner schedule. Like I said.
Well, why don't we do this? There's something else we want to talk about here before we get out of here, and we're running a little longer tonight, but it's all good. We kind of knew that coming in. One other thing we need to talk about, it's not directly Niner baseball, but it is so important to the future of the baseball program and all our programs. This week, there's been a search for the next athletic director for the Charlotte 49ers, and the 2 finalists were announced this week. So we got to find out who is coming in this week for interviews. I think they're going to be on campus Monday and Tuesday. I think that's right, Kevin. The 2 candidates are Phil Eston, who is currently Deputy Director of Athletics and Chief Operating Officer at Penn State, and Mike Hill, who's Executive Associate Athletic Director for External Affairs at the University of Florida. So we've got 2, this obviously has huge ramifications for the baseball program going forward and the rest of the athletic program as well. And we've got 2 candidates coming in, one who's currently at Penn State and the other that's at the University of Florida.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to kind of look at this from a baseball perspective. You look at Mike Hill from Florida, they just won the national title down there. So, I mean, and their facilities are top notch. So you kind of look at things from a baseball perspective, that would be, I mean, he would be a quality AD to add here. Looking at Phil Eston, he comes from Penn State. Just another big time athletic department, national prestigious athletic department. He's had a pretty good run. He was at California before he went to Penn State, and Ohio State as well, and Minnesota. He was a college baseball player at was it St. Thomas in Minnesota?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Small college in Minnesota. He was a college baseball player, so that's positive. He was at Cal. Looked to make sure he wasn't a part of that the group that wanted to get rid of the baseball program there, and he wasn't. He came in beyond well past that.
Yeah, after his time.
Yeah, definitely some big programs that they've been associated with. So either one of those guys, they look pretty good on paper.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is so important, and we're obviously Niner baseball fans, or why else would we be doing this? But Kevin and I both go way back with our basketball program, where the football program. We really want to see this thing be what it can be, and this is an important hire for a number of reasons. There's a lot of opinions floating around out there about who they like better. They're the folks that you look at the resumes and people have opinions one way or the other. If this is what I'll tell you. This is what I'll say about the process. Both of them are going to come in. They're going to meet some people, and they're going to talk. And at the end, Chancellor Dubois is going to make a call. Is Chancellor Dubois going to pick the person that you want him to pick? I mean, I don't know. I guess everybody will have their favorite. But at the end of the day, it's his call, and he's going to make it. And I think, as you said, Kevin, I agree. There are certain there are advantages to either candidate. Now, when people talk about Mike Hill, he did go to where did he go? Where did he go to school, Kevin?
He got a degree from UNC Chapel Hill.
Oh, yeah. What I'm going to do right now is I'm not going to say anything that if he gets hired, he's going to listen to later and then ask me about. How about that, Kevin? Is that fair?
That's fair.
That's fair. And so either way, it's going to be good. I think there's lots of upside here. And, hey, think about this, Kevin. By the time we're recording this next week, we might be talking about who our next athletic director is. It's possible, right?
It's exciting. It's exciting for sure. And like I said, from a baseball perspective, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those guys. I know the big money sports are football and basketball, but we have a vested interest in baseball, and I think we can. You look at the facilities at Florida, and you look at Penn State. Some of the stuff they have up there. It's definitely. I don't think we could go wrong baseball wise.
No, and let's face it, folks. I mean, we're coming at this podcast from a baseball perspective, but the better off our football and basketball are, the better off the whole thing's going to be.
Right.
I mean, that's we can't carry the athletic department on baseball. I mean, it's important to us. It's fun. It's awesome. And particularly we live in a football world. And the better off the whole program is, the better off we are on the football side, the better off we're all going to be.
Right.
That's just the fact of the world we live in. So, looking forward to that. Maybe we'll have some more news for you on that, and can really get into a discussion about we're talking about who it is instead of who it might be. So that could be fun. Kevin, before we get out of here, I think you wanted to remind us about the ticket front.
Yep. The Uptown tickets are on sale now, and I think I mentioned it last week. But go to Knight's website, go to tickets, and it'll pull up the collegiate baseball series. Click on those and you can pick your tickets out. I think there's some seats, pretty good seats available. Like I said, their tickets for these collegiate games are cheaper than the regular Knights games. So if you want to get some good seats that you normally couldn't get for Knights games, it's a great opportunity to go out there and sit in some good seats and take in that ballpark and some college baseball. Yeah,
and I mean that they kept talking about that park on the Georgia guys.
Oh yeah,
kept talking about that park.
They couldn't figure out the bank name, but they definitely talked about the park.
Yeah, they were definitely impressed with the park. So come on down, and the second two of the three games, the train will be running, right?
Right.
Light rail will be up and running.
Light rail's coming up with 16th or the 17th of March. So misses our first game, but the next two will be able to ride straight from campus down uptown and catch a ball game.
I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah.
The less I have to drive and park in downtown, the better.
Yep, and I definitely won't mind that walk.
Yeah, that'll be good. Well, we appreciate you listening. Reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Feedback. Where are you listening from? Heck, tell us what we're doing wrong. Why not? You can find us at diamond9erfans@gmail.com. Diamond Niner Fans on Twitter, also on Facebook. If we've gotten a few questions about, hey, what can we do to help you guys out? Really simple way you can help us out. We put all these episodes on YouTube. If you could favor us by clicking subscribe on our page, that would be awesome. That's free to do. Yeah. If a lot of people don't realize this, if you have a Gmail account, which so many people do, you actually have a YouTube account. You just need to go ahead and claim that, and then you can click subscribe. It's free, and hey, we'd appreciate it. So I think we're going to leave it here. Any parting shot here, Kevin?
I just want to say I appreciate everybody listening. Can't wait to get back to the Hayes this weekend, and go Niners.
All right, folks. That's it for us this week. We will see you at the Hayes.